Hello and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while. Life is lifing right now and it's lifing a lot. Life is lifing. But I'm going to try to come back to this. Again, life is lifing. It should life a little less at the end of October, and I cannot believe we are days away from October, which is also kind of terrifying. This is I am photographing books that I bought in an estate sale almost 2 years ago. I still have not photographed even half of them. I'm at the point where I might just light them all on fire in my front yard in effigy. It's there. Honestly, I'm not going to burn any books. I'm not lighting books on fire. I would donate the books. They would not go in the garbage or anything, but theoretically, emotionally, hypothetically, and I'm an incredibly weak person, and I told all of you guys and myself that I was not going to buy any more inventory until I go through all of my inventory, but guess what I did this week? I bought inventory. Again, I'm a weak person, and I know I should never, ever look at online auctions. Our local auction house here has online auctions once a month, and they do like consignment. I couldn't think of the word. They do consignment auctions where they'll have one big auction, but a bunch of different people will donate all their stuff, and they'll fill up 2 huge pole barns with this, and they'll do it once a month, and sometimes they'll do like leftovers from their estate sales. So if nobody bid on it, or if it didn't make the reserve, they would add that to their monthly consignment auction. So they had their monthly consignment auction for September, and I'm an idiot, and I looked at it, and I shouldn't have looked at it. Not only am I an idiot and I looked at it, I bidded on things. Granted, I went to bid on things that were sellable. There were 2 lots that I wanted to get because they were sellable. And then my idiot self decided, hey, no one's bidding on these lots. I wonder if I just throw $1 on them. I'm sure people will outbid me, right? Wrong. So I walked away from this online auction with 32 lots. That's right, 32 lots. 27 of those 32 lots were dollar lots I just randomly threw dollars on. Yep, that's right. Randomly threw dollars on them. Thought I'd be outbid. I was not. Things I wanted to get, I ended up getting 2 different keyboards. I don't like the keyboard in my office, and I like these keyboards because they're ergonomic, and I'm hoping they're clicky because I'm a really big fan of clicky keyboards. It's auditorily satisfying to me, which kind of says a lot about myself also. So I bid on 2 keyboards. They were each in separate lots, of course. $1 for each of them. They were in the dollar lots, but I'm counting them as the things I was going for. I also wanted a folding stool to use because I do take a stool around with me sometimes to sit on, and the stool I'm using is kind of heavy and cumbersome, so if I could get a folding stool, I could take that with me. So I bid on a folding stool, $10, got that one, and a chainsaw, a Ryobi chainsaw for $5. Again, this was an incredibly low bar of entry auction. I didn't think I would walk away with these things for $1 or $5. Then the one lot I did spend the most on, and it was the one lot I wanted, and it was one lot I know I'm going to be able to sell, is a bunch of melamine cafeteria trays. So vintage melamine cafeteria trays. I have a bunch of brown ones. I sell them for $50, about 1 lot a month, and I've got a bunch of them, so that is fine. And they're awfully useful. So I have some that I'm not going to sell because they are damaged or have scratches, or if they've just been used so much they have wear spots on them. I'm not going to sell those, but does not mean I can use them at home. So I do use those for my personal use, mainly for my plants. But this was a very large lot of red melamine ones, which is a good deal. I ended up spending $20 on that lot. So that was a majority. Honestly, that was almost more than everything else put together, which is kind of sad. But, and then my idiot self bid on a bunch of artwork, a bunch of frames, a chalkboard, a dry erase board, which I will actually use the chalkboard and dry erase board. The artwork I bid on, they didn't put the size, and I thought it was much smaller than it was, but it was definitely very large. And I definitely only brought a minivan, and it was rough. I also walked away with 15 tarps for $1. Yeah. The most random stuff. I have bolts of fabric I got for $1. Some of the fabric is plastic tablecloth covers. Don't know what I'm going to use that for, but I have bolts of it. I actually have 3 bolts of plastic tablecloth covers. I have 2 bolts of flannel, 1 bolt of like outdoor fabric. I thought I was bidding on the fabric. Then they're like, oh, this whole area right here is yours. There was stuff behind the fabric. Lots of pieces of wood were behind the fabric. Again, I just brought my minivan. Lots and lots of pieces of woods were behind it. A table that had been taken apart was also behind it. Mind you, if you've been here long enough, this auction house has burned me before, and apparently I cannot learn my lesson. This is the auction house where I thought I was buying tents, and I didn't actually walk away with a single tent. So I pulled all the bolts of the fabric away from the wall. I'm like, yeah, I can sell them. I'll sell them just as large pieces. I'm going to have to wash one of them. I'll sell them as just a large lot of fabric. And I'm pulling them away, and there's a freaking table taken apart. There's a bunch of random shelves that go to a bookshelf. There is just, and the lady that's walking us around giving our lot, she's like, oh, you can make a welcome sign with that. That's so handy. And I'm like, shut up. Are you kidding me? And we took our 15-year-old with us. So it was my husband, myself, and our 15-year-old. My husband drove, and the 15-year-old and myself had to ride with things on our laps because, again, brought the minivan. We filled it to the top. I bought an Audrey Hepburn print. Thought it was an 8x11 because they took a picture of the frame, and the frame was very small in the picture, and it goes past my waist. It's at least 4 feet tall and 2 feet wide. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm kind of panicking. And I bought a bunch of canvases that have been painted on. I will buy these canvases. I bought lots of them for $1. Again, thought they were small. No, they're 2 feet by 2 feet. And they're the expensive stretched canvases, so they're about 2 inches thick. And for $1, I mean, these are really good buys. But I bought a minivan. So it was awful. We were able to put most of the stuff in storage. But, oh gosh, I felt like the biggest idiot. My husband was laughing at me, and this is 100% on me. He didn't even bid on anything. This is 100% completely on me. I am the idiot. I don't know what I'm going to do with half the stuff. Upside, I bought a household lot, and it was a file box. So a lot of these lots were file boxes full of stuff because, why not? And I bought a household lot. It was a file box full of stuff, and I was digging through it, and I was actually throwing away broken items because we get a lot of broken items in these lots. And we happened to have, our garbage was going out that night, so we had room in our garbage can, and I was throwing away the broken items. And I get to the bottom of this household items box, and I'm seeing these glass lids, and they say Pyrex on them, but they're like very vintage glass lids. And there are 3 vintage green, olive green Pyrex nesting bowls in this box I got for $1 at the bottom. And I'm sure the auctioneer had no idea they were in there, because if they would have, he's the type of person that would have pulled them out and listed them separately because they would have sold. So granted, it is not the most desirable pattern. Ironically, it matches the pattern of the vintage Corelle dishes we got here that we use at our house. So, but I have no use for them. I don't need them. I will just hoard them if I get them. So I'm going to list those, and hopefully listing those, I'll make all of my money back. It's so ridiculous, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. But that's what I've been doing while I've been gone. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for continuing to watch me even when I go on very long breaks. Please like and subscribe and have a productive day.